myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Walk with me, you know.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Cole, we got Arturo, we got Juan, Randall. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Up and foremost, do me a huge favor, smack the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 19K now. Woo! What a day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we are heading into week 7, and we're already talking about doomsday, hit the panic button. But as Arizona Cardinal fans, we're used to it at this very moment. So do me a huge favor, smack up the like button, subscribe, and let's see where this Arizona Cardinal team can take us this year. But without further ado, today we are going to be talking about, is this make or break for the 2025 Arizona Cardinals? Is this one of those situations where you got to win this game versus the Green Bay Packers in order for you to save your season? Well, you're hearing all the players talk very, very highly about them not packing it up. You hear the coaching staff saying that everything's in front of us. And technically, yes, the Arizona Cardinals right now are 2-4. We are done with 6 weeks. We're heading into week 7. And we got 10 plus games left, right? We got 10 plus games left. So can the Arizona Cardinals figure it out? They can, right? The history has told us that they can't figure it out. But new year, new regime, at least the 3 years of this regime, and we're going to have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is as big as it comes when it comes down to a must-win game. And I don't want to think of the alternative if the Cardinals don't win this game, because you start off at 2-5 and you're on a 5-game losing streak. And on top of that, you're going into your bye week. Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling one bit. So the Arizona Cardinals knows what's in front of them. They got an opponent in the Green Bay Packers, which it ain't going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. They're going to have to come into this game and take advantage of every situation that's given to them. Turnover on downs, them punting, turnovers in general. The Cardinals are needing to come in here and playing with their head on fire. That's offensively as well as defensively. Now, let me give a real quick shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Sleeper throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. We're going to talk a little bit more about them a little later on in the stream, but shout out to them. And let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Green Bay Packers coming into State Farm Stadium, and I'm very curious. Like, just out of curiosity, where do you guys think the level of, like, Packers fans compared to Cardinals fans that's going to be filling up the stadium? Do you think there's going to be more Packers fans than Cardinals fans? I kind of have a feeling. Even since the beginning of the season, it didn't really feel like there was a lot of buzz, although expectations for this organization or this regime is that we're going to the playoffs. Even from the beginning, it didn't really feel like the buzz around the valley was there, right? Like, the trajectory is saying that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a playoff team, right? We're building, we're in year 3 of a rebuild, but it didn't really feel like the valley was completely bought into this team yet. And now they're starting off 2-4, and they're still dealing with the same issues over and over again, which is the offensive side of the ball. It almost kind of seems like it's, those guys that weren't believing, they're not the ones coming up saying, I told you so. I told you so. This is going to be a bad year for the Cardinals. And unfortunately, those guys that were saying so, they might be right, but you never know. Let me get to a super chat coming our way. What's up, Arturo? Appreciate you. He says this: what do your effing eyes see, Mike? Love Jesse. 100%. If you don't know what my guy Arturo's talking about, he's a fan of the NFC West Roundtable. And honestly, it was probably one of the funniest things I ended up hearing on the NFC West Roundtable. You had to be there. But basically, we have so much stats these days, man. You got so much different analytical things with PFF and all these other websites that are breaking things down to the nitty gritty. You got grades, you got all these different things, right? That if you have an argument, you probably can find something that's going to be able to back your argument, right? Everything has gotten so analytical with football now that's, sometimes you just got to use the old reliable eyes. You do, right? Sometimes you got to use your old reliable eyes. So the question out there is this a make or break game for the Cardinals. 110%. It is. This is a make or break game for the Arizona Cardinals, and there's nobody debating that. I'm actually kind of curious to figure out if the Cardinals lose this game, will we continue to hear the leaders, Paris Johnson Jr., Kyler, right? All these guys that are seen as leaders in this locker room, are they going to continue to preach the same thing? Now, they probably will because culturally and mathematically, you're not eliminated yet. But this might be a real game changer. The Cardinals need to win this game. Absolutely no doubt. So Arturo, appreciate the super chat up and foremost. I want to talk about this real quick. Let's shift gears on over to who starts in week 7. Now, I have a big question for you guys in the chat. Who do you want to see start for the Arizona Cardinals this week? And I'm talking about the quarterbacks. Would you like to see Kyler Murray, if healthy? Let's be clear. He's got to be healthy, right? Would you like to see Kyler Murray over Brissett? Or do you want to see Brissett over Kyler Murray? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know where you're all in this whole situation. Because as of right now, I am seeing some footage out there. Shout out to Paul Calvisi. That's boots in the ground at the open part of practice. And ladies and gentlemen, I am seeing Jacoby Brissett throw the ball over to Marvin Harrison Jr. He is wearing the yellow jersey because obviously the concussion protocol. He is on a non-contact jersey on right now. So it is positive that we might see Marvin Harrison Jr. in this game. Fingers crossed that we do. But I'm seeing Jacoby Brissett throw the ball to him, not Kyler Murray. Now, in this latest injury report that we ended up getting on Wednesday, Kyler was available in practice, but he was limited. So my question to you guys is, who do you want to see? Who do you want to see in week 7 suiting up for the Arizona Cardinals? Let's go with Kiz. Kiz, what, man? I feel like it's been a bit. Appreciate you for joining the stream, man. Thank you so very much. I haven't seen you in a hot second. Appreciate you for stopping by. He says this. He wants to see Kyler for the mobility because Micah and that Packers defensive line. Fair. Okay, fair. Let's go with Randall. Randall in the chat says Jacoby can at least get Marvin Harrison Jr. 100 yards. Need to see it. Let's go with Edward. Says, I would like to see Jacoby again, but we need to win. Jacoby will hit his open receivers. Bring me Jacoby. Okay. So here's the big question out there right now, right? Is Kyler Murray fully healthy? Is Kyler Murray fully healthy? Because if he is, with what we're hearing from this coaching staff, it sounds like it's still Jacoby's job. I'm sorry, it's still Kyler Murray's job to lose at this very moment, right? That's what it seems like is trending in that direction. But seeing so far that we're limited with Kyler on Wednesday, and I'm only assuming he's going to be limited today as well, right? Now, they're not going to make their final decision until probably Saturday or maybe even Sunday morning when the game is set to kick off, right? That's probably when they're going to make their official announcement on who's going to be QB1. Right now, I'm looking at a couple different reports. It seems like it might be Jacoby, especially because of the report that came out from Ian Rappaport about the Lisfranc injury. But this is a must-win game. This is, to be honest, I don't care. I don't care who starts. All I want to see is this offense function the way that we've seen it function versus the Colts, right? Big chunk plays, making this offense look good. Making this up like a, what am I trying? Not comparable. What is it? What am I trying? What's the word I'm trying to use? Well, making this offense look like good, right? Like we saw in this last week. I want to see the next version of that. That's what I'm looking forward to in this game. So regardless if that's Kyler or Jacoby Brissett, that's what I want to see. Build off what happened in that game. Now, is it kind of a lot to ask for Kyler Murray that did not show that type of performance all year long to say, okay, build off of Jacoby? I mean, to me, I don't think it's that unfair. Now, you have to ask a very specific person. I mean, to me, it's like you're getting paid that much money, so you should perform at the level that we need you to perform, right? Now, another thing that I'm looking at here right now is that there is some people out there that are not in attendance right now. There's some people out there that are not in attendance. Zay Jones is not in attendance. Amari DeMarcado is not in attendance either. Kyler Murray looks like he's practicing with the practice squad wide receivers right now, at least per Tyler Drake. So I think that they're still slowly trying to ramp up Kyler. If I'm going to be real with you, I think they're still trying to ramp up Kyler Murray. I would be shocked if Kyler Murray goes in week 7. They're probably aiming for Monday Night Football versus the Cowboys. That's probably what they're aiming for. But Kyler's back in practice, but he's throwing to the practice squad guys. Practice squad guys. And Jacoby and Slovis worked out with the 53. So this is going to be very fascinating to see how the Cardinals end up, making this all turn out. Roger, buddy, what's up, man? Appreciate you for joining the chat. Roger, thank you so very much. He says this, what's up, Mike? Y'all need Kyler out there. He makes things way more interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, right now, per Jonathan Gannon, that is our quarterback one right now, right? That's he still has the faith. He still believes in what Kyler Murray can do. So right now, per Jonathan Gannon, it definitely seems like that's still his guy. But I do believe it's really contingent on if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, I don't want to see an 80%, 75% Kyler Murray. What makes Kyler Murray dynamic is him being able to use his legs, right? Him being able to use his legs to get out of the pocket. So going with that, JG has said multiple times that it is Kyler Murray's show, right? He's the starting quarterback. We just don't know exactly if he's 75, 80%, 90% ready to go. I would rather see 100% Jacoby Brissett, if I'm going to be real with you. Give him one more week if needed. But I do understand the other side of the coin as well, because the other side of the coin is saying if you start off 2-5 on the season, the chances are already 2-4. It's not very good in your favor to hit the playoffs, right? We know that the NFC West is pretty stacked up as is, and you got to start winning games. This is a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals. A must-win. Roger in the chat said, yeah, my guy's a Rams fan. If you haven't already noticed his avatar, right, or his profile picture. Great guy, though. Roger's amazing. Appreciate the shots in the event, though, by the way. Yeah. This is going to be a very fascinating game. I'll just leave it at that. Now, here's going to be my next question, right? I've already seen some people out there already getting engaged in the chat. Appreciate you. Are jobs on the line? This is going to be the big question out there. Are jobs on the line? Let's say, for example, the Arizona Cardinals do live in a world where they do start off 2-5. Are jobs on the line? And I'm talking about Petzing. I'm talking about Jonathan Gannon. I'm talking about potentially starting jobs, because you start off 2-5. That's not good. That's not good. The chances already of you making the playoffs at 2-4 isn't very good. I think you have a less than 10% chance to make the playoffs. As of right now, at 2-4, you start off 2-5. Ooh, that's not good. So Jonathan Gannon really needs to hone down on what is going to be the best option for you to win. You can't start off 2-5. You can't. Right now, Jonathan Gannon, within 3 years, and this is supposed to be year 3 of a rebuild, that the Cardinals are supposed to be taking that next step in the trajectory. We won 8 games, 4 games a year prior, and now we're supposed to be 9, 10, 11, 10, games is what we're supposed to be winning, quote unquote. Right now, Jonathan Gannon is 14 wins, 26 losses. That ain't impressive. I'm sorry, that ain't impressive. Year 2 was solid, right? Unfortunately, the Cardinals couldn't finish the season off strong. They finished off at 2-5. 2 wins, 5 losses after the bye week, and of course, completely unraveled at the end of the season. This year was supposed to be over 8 wins. Hell, some might even say double-digit wins is what's their expectations. So right now, Jonathan Gannon is 14-26. I think I heard something out there that's if you're in a year 3 of a rebuild or a year 3 head coach, you have to hit playoffs. You have to hit playoffs. And if you don't, it's deemed as a failure. So question out there is Jonathan Gannon's job on the line here? Now, I'm not going to come out here and say that Jonathan Gannon is going to get fired after the bye week. No, I'm not going to say that. But there's going to be a real sit-down moment by the coaching staff, the front office, the owner, and Michael Bidwell, and really looking at okay, well, what's happening in this year, right? Are we going to be sellers? Are we going to be buyers in the trade deadline? Because I still hear people talking about, oh, the Cardinals should go after Brees Hall. Oh, the Cardinals should go after this running back. Well, if you start off 2-5, this front office ain't doing a damn thing. This front office, we are already sitting in a world where the Cardinals have what, $20+ million in cap space, at least per over the cap, and we're not doing anything. Like, we're bringing in players, quote unquote, but they're not guys that are really needle moving dudes, right? So you give more of an excuse for this organization to save money and not make a move. Will you start off 2-5 and then they save money on their pockets? Now, for the other side of the coin, for the guys that are saying you got to go out there and make a move regardless, well, that's just not this organization, unfortunately. I would love for them to have that mentality. I would love for them to have the killer mentality and go for it regardless because this is year 3. But truth be told, this organization would do anything they can to save a little money, a little cheddar in their pocket. They'll convince the rest of the fan base that, hey, we're 2-4 right now. Hey, we're 2-5. We're potentially 2-6. Why are we going to be buyers? I mean, you're right. Why would they be buyers? So, if any chance you want the Arizona Cardinals to potentially have a slight chance of being a buyer, you got to win this game. You can't be 2-5 and try to go after a Brees Hall and Alvin Kamara, right? Any of those guys that are in losing teams and potentially are going to be in the top 10, top 5 draft picks in 2026. This is a must-win game. Jobs could potentially be on the line. Absolutely. Now, does Jonathan Gannon get one more opportunity? There's a world, maybe. Maybe Jonathan Gannon gets one more opportunity, right? One more year to potentially get his quarterback that he wants. But at the end of the day, we are here because of the decision-making that's been made by this franchise, by this organization, right? By Monty, by Jonathan Gannon. The lack of playing in preseason, the Kyler Murray's my dude, Kyler Murray's my guy, right? All these decisions that are being made are the direct correlation of obviously what Bidwell and Steve Keim ended up doing, several years back when we ended up extending Kyler. Now, at that time, I thought it was a good idea. You have a lot of potential in what you've seen from Kyler. At that time, I thought it was a good idea. Now, do I think it's a good idea that the Cardinals extended him? I mean, I know hindsight is 2020, but at the end of the day, it almost does feel like we're stuck. It almost feels like we're stuck here, right? It's not like we're with him because we truly believe in what he can be, right? I mean, I guess there's a portion out there, and those same guys are the ones saying that, oh, now Drew Petzing wants to open up the playbook, right? Those are the same guys that are saying that because there is a portion of fans that think that Kyler can still win you the Super Bowl with the Cardinals. I don't know what they're smoking. All I can say is cocaine's a hell of a drug to those guys, but I digress. Maybe he can win a Super Bowl with a different team, but I don't think he's ever going to win one here in the Cardinals. I don't ever think he's going to win one here with the Cardinals. So, jobs can very well be on the line. Absolutely. Jobs can very well be on the line here. Let's go with Jay. What's up, Jay? He says, honestly, I wouldn't mind a loss. Hopefully we can be sellers and trade K1 and other vets. The Cardinals can have an opportunity here to unload some veterans that we have on this roster. Yeah. Maybe the aging ones, like maybe Calais. Honestly, I would love to see Calais Campbell retire. Like, if Calais talked to the front office and said, hey, this is my last year, then you're not moving off of Calais Campbell, right? Then you're not moving off of him. But if you want to move off of guys like maybe Dalvin Tomlinson, right, some other veterans that we have on this roster as well, then I'm open. I'm good with it. But if Calais wants to retire a Cardinal, just let him ride out the rest of the season. Let him ride out to the sunset. Hopefully we can put him on the Ring of Honor one day. Right? But that's conversations that needs to happen between the front office and Calais. But you can try to recoup some draft capital, maybe a Kyler Murray trade, which I've said this once and I'll say it again. If this organization was smart, which I have not gave them multiple times, I haven't said that they were, but if they were smart, they would do anything in their power, especially if they lose this game versus the Green Bay Packers, to try to see who they can unload. Because believe it or not, out of the 31 other teams, there might be one team out there that can potentially say, oh, I see the potential. Well, we can make it happen here in our organization. I'll give you this. I'll give you that for that guy. I feel like that's what the Cardinals should do. Now, when you sell, you wave the white flag, right? When you sell, you wave the white flag. Maybe that's not the look the Cardinals want to put out into this locker room. But you got to make some tough decisions. You absolutely do. Now, let's talk about the alternative. Let's talk about the positive, right? Let's go positive here. Let's say we live in a world where the Cardinals do beat the Green Bay Packers. Let's say we live in a world, right? Let's think positive here. Let's say the Cardinals do beat the Green Bay Packers. Does that save your season? It does. It absolutely does. Let's not also forget that the Cardinals started off 2-4 last year. The Cardinals started off 2-4 last year when all things seemed to kind of hit the shit and hit the fan, right? Last year, the Cardinals were able to get multiple wins, and instead of going to 2-4, they were now 6-4. Now we all know what happened after the dreaded bye week, right? The 2-5, lost the division, everything was terrible at that point, right? But the realistic world here is that the Cardinals did start off 2-4 last year as well. So if you salvage this season, any chance to salvage a season, you got to win this game versus the Green Bay Packers. It ain't going to be easy, but you put yourself in the situation. The Cardinals put themselves in the situation here. So are we going to be hard on Jonathan Gannon, Petzing, hell, even Nick Rallis at this very moment? Yeah, the whole coaching staff should realize that this game could cost them their jobs, could cost them their careers in the NFL as coaches. Now, young guys like Rallis, can he bounce back somewhere? Can he remain the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals? Yeah, he could very well, right? Especially if Gannon gets the axe, Petzing gets the axe. Yeah, he can very well remain. You never know. But it's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, that the Cardinals are going to have to make some very serious decisions moving forward. This is the year right here. This is the year. Aaliyah Golden, what's up? Mike, do you think the Cards are going to get some touch? Yeah, I think so. Why not? Yeah, I think so. The Cardinals have never been blown out in any of these games. The closest game that we were blown out was the Seahawks game until the fourth quarter ended up happening, or maybe even late into the third quarter. And then we started scoring points, and then we kind of caught up, right? But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we score touchdowns? I mean, I don't think the Packers are world beaters when it comes down to the defense. I think they're a better defense than the Colts are, right? So maybe those big chunk plays won't be as there for the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I mean, why not? We got a good team. We saw it. We saw it. When Jacoby Brissett was at the helm, we saw that we got some playmakers. Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, for the love of God. He caught more ball. Let me refrain. He has more yardage in that game alone with Jacoby Brissett in one than he had probably all last year, if not very close. That's telling. That's very, very telling. Zay Jones potentially had a career day with the Cardinals last year. I think Zay Jones was only like 80 yards, 70 yards for the full year last year. Now, granted, he missed the first 5 games, but it's terrible. That ain't good. That's god awful. Naheem, what's up? I have another question. Do you think that Jacoby will throw another 300-yard? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think the Colts are sorry. I thought the Green Bay Packers are a better defense. They are. They're a better defense. I don't think they're world beaters. I don't think they're number one. Now, when it comes down to stopping the run, they are. At least the average. They're number one when it comes down to stopping the run. But you should be able to find a world where you're passing the ball down the field. If Jacoby Brissett goes for another 300-yard game, you know more people are going to talk. It's just the way that it is. More people are going to talk. We've already heard the people talk in this last game, right? We saw Jacoby Brissett do something we haven't seen in a very long time with this offense. In a very, very long time with this offense. So to answer the questions, I think he can go for another 300 yards? Maybe. If not, probably close. I don't think he throws less than 220 or 240. If he goes over 250, that would be pretty amazing. But I would like to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in this game. So far, it seems like it's trending in the right direction. He's in practice, but he's got that yellow jersey on, which is obviously non-contact jersey on. So it's trending that Marvin probably will go. But we're going to have to kind of wait and see. Jay, what's up, Jay? Is there Carson Palmer / Kurt Warner type that is at the end of their season that can bring in? I don't I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like I mean, we got Jacoby. We got Jacoby Brissett. I mean, Jacoby Brissett probably won't give you Carson Palmer or Kurt Warner, but like my plan, and I know I'm not Monty. I know that. But my plan, because you got Jacoby for one more year under contract, you got him for one more year. I think the Cardinals should go after a quarterback in the first round. Stop being scared of your Max Hall, your Derek Anderson, your Cobb, right? Lindley. Stop being scared of missing. Take a chance. Take a chance on a kid that looks good in college that you could potentially develop to be that franchise quarterback. One of the main reasons why I feel like the Cardinals always kind of rebuild every 4 or 5 years is because they don't really have a guy that they get young, right? Your Patrick Mahomes, right? Your Jaden is now starting to kind of decline, especially. Well, I'm not gonna say decline, but he's not as good as he was in his rookie year. But Jaden still has flashes of being pretty solid, right? Like who else is another guy that looks really good? I mean, Jackson Dart's already showing flashes. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be top 5 quarterback, but he looks pretty solid. A capable quarterback, right? Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, which people want to crown Justin Herbert top 5 quarterback. I don't know why those people do that. I never thought Justin Herbert was a top 5 quarterback. I would call him fringe 10, maybe even somewhere in the top 11 or top 12. But Herbert is another good one where you could probably win a Super Bowl if everything was perfectly around him. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals need to go after a quarterback in the draft. Develop. Let's say Jacoby Brissett starts the season next year. Let's just say we live in a world Jacoby Brissett starts the season next year because we want to continue to develop this guy, right? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, right? Now, this roster, depending on what happens in the trade deadline, of course, I want to keep Sweat. I think Sweat is as advertised. This guy's a very, very good pass rusher. Now, yes, he'd probably be 29, 30 years old. I think he's 28 right now. So, 29, close to 30 next year. But still, is a really good pass rusher, right? We don't know what's going to happen with the other guys that we got. Maybe Jordan Birch takes another step, right? Hopefully, Darius Robinson gets his SHIT together. Walter Nolan, we're probably going to see him sooner rather than later. I don't think we're going to see him in this game, but you got to get all these young guys from the draft to kind of grow up with each other, right? To build a sustainable organization / team to grow up with each other. That's what you need to do. That's what you build from the draft. Julio in the chat says, yo, we can bring back Clayton Adams as head coach. Yeah, that's an option. That's an option. Yeah. Or you bring in a guy that gets fired. John Harbaugh, maybe. Maybe the Ravens want something new, especially with Lamar Jackson's injury. I don't think they're going to be really winning very much. Well, let's see what happens with Lamar Jackson coming back. But maybe Harbaugh finally gets the cut. Maybe the Cardinals go after a Harbaugh. That would be cool, right? Who else could potentially get cut this or fired this year? I mean, there's some coaches that could potentially get the axe, right? I would love somebody with experience, personally. I would love somebody that has winning experience. Harbaugh would be amazing. We don't know if he's going to get fired or not. This might be the season to do it, though, because they're not doing so good with all the injuries that they have. But the whole Clayton Adams thing, I mean, I think anything's on the table. It's cool. It's a cool thought. But I would personally love to bring in somebody that has experience. Now, like I said before, if Jonathan Gannon gets another opportunity, maybe one more year to bring in his guy, I mean, that's a possibility. But also keep in mind, Jonathan Gannon probably took this job because Michael Bidwell says you have to make it work with Kyler. I don't care. You have to make it work with Kyler. So maybe he was a little hamstrung. Or maybe he does believe in Kyler, right? But these are the decisions that are going to have to be made. These are the decisions that are going to have to be made. Who's going to start at week 7 that's going to potentially win you or bring you back, right? Is it Jacoby or is it Kyler? So far, we're seeing Kyler in practice, but he's throwing to practice squad guys. That's who he's throwing to. He's not throwing to the number ones. Jacoby is throwing to the number ones right now. Things can change tomorrow. So it's going to be very fascinating. Very, very fascinating to see exactly what happens here. Because Kyler is at practice. And probably with this new injury report that's coming out today, he probably will be limited. Brandon in the chat saying Dylan Raiola is turning around Nebraska. He would do the same thing here. Draft Dylan. That is not the guy that wants to be Mahomes. Not that dude, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if the Cardinals believe in it, I guess I can get behind it. But you got people also in this draft class. Now, we don't know who's going to declare or not, right? We don't know. That's the big question. Who's going to declare, right? Is Ty Simpson out of Alabama going to declare? We don't know, right? If he does, he's looking really good, right? Fernando Mendoza, another quarterback that's looking really, really good this year for the Indiana Hoosiers. He's looking really, really good, right? Then you also got Garrett Nussmeier as well, the quarterback from LSU. I haven't really followed a lot of ASU, if I'm going to be real with you, but there's quarterbacks that are intriguing. There's quarterbacks that are intriguing right now. He's 6'1", 205, 1,413 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Doesn't look really impressive, but LSU is 5-1, right? LSU is 5-1 right now. So there's that. And there's also that one guy. Remember that? What was his name? Is it Lenore Sellers? There's also Lenore Sellers as well. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm also I don't really follow that team very much. But if we lose this game, well, I'm looking at all quarterbacks. I'm looking at all quarterbacks, right? Lenore Sellers, quarterback for the for South Carolina. He's also a guy that people were talking about. Now, are any of these guys going to hit the draft? Who knows, right? Who knows? But that's going to be the big question out there. What do we do, right? Nebraska's 5-1, ranked 2. So if the Cardinals do go after Dylan Raiola, right? My question to you is, does he come out this year? If he doesn't come out this year, then do you just ride out with Kyler Murray one more year, or you just get a veteran guy, a bridge, right? That's going to be all the questions, because he's 20 years old. I don't think he's coming out this year, if I'm going to be real with you. I don't think he's coming out. So what are the Cardinals going to do for next year, right? So although I'm not mad at it, I would love the Arizona Cardinals to try to see if they could find somebody in this draft. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it one bit. What is Dylan Raiola? What has he done so far? Let me see. Like I said, I'm not the biggest college watcher. Of course, I'll watch the big games that are out there. I mean, he's doing pretty solid. Over 1,500 yards, close to 1,600, 1,591, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That ain't bad. 6'3", 230. Yeah, 5-1. Not bad at all. Mikey in the chat says 2027 draft class. Write it out with Brissett 1 year or find someone else. Okay. Sam Levitt could stay healthy. I'd say tank for him all day. Nobody wants the Patrick Mahomes glazing. What was that? That's funny. There's some intrigue with Sam Levitt for me. I'm going to be real with you. There's some real intrigue with Sam Levitt for me as well. From ASU. There's some real big intrigue from Sam Levitt. Now, he did get hurt this last week. He wasn't there. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but it's got the ability to use his legs. They have Texas Tech coming their way. They're 6-0. Arizona State is 4-2. So I'm going to be watching this game very, very closely to see what happens in this game. But Sam Levitt is 6'2", 205, right? So he's got the height. Not 6'4", but he's intriguing. I'm not going to say I'm in it. I'm not going to say I'm all in on Sam Levitt, but I'm intrigued. Real is a stud. I want Mendoza. So if you want Mendoza, he might come out. I mean, why the hell not? How old is he? Let me see. 6'5", 2. How old is Mendoza? 22. 22 years old. What's he been doing? Like, what's his? Sorry, I'm trying to look at his his career stats. So he's got. This is his third year of experience. Third year. So he was with Cal in 2023, Cal in 2024, and now with the Hoosiers, and now he's had a crazy year. He's like crushed the amount of touchdowns he's had this year. 17 touchdowns already, and season is just kind of maybe a little before the midway point. 2024, he had 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 2023, he had 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions for the whole season. So this is the year that he's made a big bounce. 3 years of experience. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, this would be crazy. Oh man, this would be amazing. I'm good on Sam, but I'd take Tyson. So you get Tyson. So here's the thing too, right? You also got Marvin Harrison Jr. Who's your actual number 2? I think Michael Wilson's really solid, but if you're going to come out here and tell me that you're going to look for another wide receiver that's going to be like a potential another X factor like Marv is, and then you bring in his quarterback out of ASU and you got that connection already with those two, that would be crazy awesome. That would be such a cool storyline to bring in Tyson. And then you get Levitt somewhere. Ooh, that would be crazy good. That would be crazy good. What about the QB from Georgia? Who is their quarterback? Gunnar Stockton? Don't really know him too much. Don't really know too much about him. I mean, all I'm saying right now is don't let those people that are telling you that this is not a good draft class scare you. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let them fool you, because there you can find a good quarterback. Also remember, don't forget, and I know it's probably was an anomaly, right? Probably was, but it's possible, right? It's possible. The Patrick Mahomes draft, nobody said that was a good draft class, right? Deshaun Watson, in the beginning part of his career, I'm not talking now, it's horrible, right? It's terrible now. But in the beginning part of his career, he was putting crazy record numbers up. Now, is that because D-Hop? Maybe, right? But he was putting crazy numbers up. And then somewhere his season derailed, right? Or his career derailed. But Patrick Mahomes came out of that draft where everybody was like, "Oh, this is not a good draft class. Don't even think about it. This is not a good draft class." Hell, Mitch Trubisky went in the top 5. Like, that's how crazy. Like, you never know, man. You never know exactly how it's all going to turn out. But things can change. Things can happen, man. I'm excited about this draft class. I really am. Not to the point where I'm like, oh, this is like the Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Baker, and I'm not talking about like that type of level of draft class, but you can probably find somebody. And the beautiful part is that you probably don't even have to use a first round pick because they're not seen as a good one, right? Maybe use a second rounder. Maybe you do get a wide receiver, Tyson, right? Or maybe you do trade somebody that can get you a first rounder. You know who I'm talking about. And then you have 2 first rounds in 2026. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anything's on the table. Anything's on the table. Y'all thought Aller was gonna be good. Aller is cheap. I thought Aller was gonna be good. I really did. I thought Aller was gonna be good. I was actually really excited about Aller this year. He's not been very great. He's not been very great. Manning also. Manning, oh my God. Archie Manning has been not great either, but he's not coming out. There's no way he's coming out of the draft this year. Ain't no way. So he's got some time to develop, right? He's got the name. He's got to develop still. But yeah, I was a big fan of Aller. I really was. But now the injury, he hasn't looked so great. I think that just kind of really hurt his stock. He probably should have came out last year. I know he was banking on himself this year. I just think it kind of backfired. And on top of that, the injury, it's not going to be good for him. Can't wait till draft season, baby. If the Cardinals lose this game, draft season. We're all just going to be looking at mock drafts at this point. I think the last time I looked, the Arizona Cardinals are sitting at the 10th overall pick right now. I believe that if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let me see. Right now, the Cardinals are sitting at the 2026 NFL Draft with the 10th overall pick right now. The 10th. You got the Giants in front of us at 9. They got Jackson Dart. They're good. You got the Vegas Raiders, which they potentially can go after a quarterback. I don't think Geno's their answer. Cincinnati, which obviously Burrow getting hurt. They're not getting a quarterback. Tennessee, they just got Cam Ward. They're not going to give up on him that quickly. New Orleans can be a team that can potentially go after a quarterback. Is Spencer Rattler if they don't think that that's going to work out. Miami at 4. They have Tua. They paid him a lot of money. I doubt they move up from him that quick. Baltimore, you got Lamar. You're not going anywhere. The Jets and Cleveland. So you have 4 teams right now in front of you that can very well potentially get a quarterback in front of you. The Jets, Cleveland, because I don't think Gabriel's their answer. If it is, then I'm surprised. Sanders, they're not playing him. I don't know if they're sold yet. So Jets, Cleveland, Vegas Raiders, and then the New Orleans, the Saints. 4 teams that could potentially get quarterbacks right now with where their Cardinals are at sitting at the 10th spot. So I hope we win I hope we win this weekend. And I know it doesn't sound like I hope we win, but I do hope we win. I really do. I want to see a season where we actually have hope. We're going into week 7 for the love of God, and we have so much more of the season going on our way. Like, I want to have more hope. So I want to win this game. It's just if the alternative happens, it ain't good. It ain't good. So, what's up, man? Says Mike, we should have gotten Spencer Rattler. He's actually putting up good numbers. I feel like they didn't draft Spencer Rattler because he would have had a threat to Kyler. I mean, honestly, I just listed off the guys. If they truly believe in Spencer Rattler, then that's fair. That's fair. Spencer threw for 53-yard bomb to Olave the last game. Kyler hasn't thrown a 50-yard bomb since 2023, I believe. No, I mean, you might be right, brother. You might be right. If the Saints believe in Rattler, then that helps out to, instead of 4 teams that have want quarterbacks, maybe just 3. But I just don't ever like the Cardinals. They should have been thinking of this in 2023. That's what they should have been thinking of this in 2023. I get it. The moment that Jonathan Gannon and Monty took this job, I get it. They wanted so darn badly to make Kyler believe that you are our guy. And they did it. They made him believe you are going nowhere, buddy. We truly 110% believe in you. But you should have been planting a seed somewhere. No, I guess they technically were, right? They traded for Desmond. Not great. They traded for Dobbs. Not great. They drafted Clayton Tune. Not great. And then Jacoby, right? So within 3 years, the Arizona Cardinals, I guess, technically did try to plant a seed to try to maybe think of their future, but they should have thought of it earlier. Like you're saying, maybe Spencer Rattler should have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick for the Cardinals instead of going after a Clayton Tune 5th round pick that just didn't work out. So maybe they were doing it. It's just they weren't putting a lot of weight on it. It's just, I don't know. It almost kind of felt like a waste. Angel in the chat says, is Kyler starting on Sunday? Right now, we don't know. My best guess right now is that Jacoby's going to go. Here's my reason why. I'm looking on X and Twitter, and all the reports I'm seeing is that Jacoby Brissett right now is throwing to the number 1s. Kyler is at practice, but he's throwing to the practice squad guys right now. So if I were to put my guess right now on Thursday, I would say it's Jacoby. But things can change tomorrow. Maybe Kyler does start throwing to the 1s tomorrow. They're not going to make their decision until maybe Sunday morning, Saturday, right? The good thing is this is at home as well, so they still got a little bit of time to decide. But right now, on Thursday, I think it's going to be Jacoby. But this is going back to what I was talking about earlier, right? Jonathan Gannon needs to really think of who is the best player that's going to get you the best chance to win. Who's the best player that's going to get you a chance to win? If he still thinks it's Kyler, all right, die on the sword. If he thinks it's Jacoby and it doesn't happen, okay, well, die on the sword. It's going to be a tough decision, man. It really is. I don't think a lot of people, well, with the exception of the Kyler Murray stands, that, they're probably waiting behind bushes if Jacoby struggles in this game. If Jacoby struggles with a better defense, and they're like, I told you he can't throw more than 300 yards, they're probably going to come out here and say some outlandish things, right? When you can't discredit what Jacoby Brissett did with 1 week of preparation with wide receivers that we all called scrubs, right? He was slinging it, letting it rip. 720 plus yard gains. Unheard of. Unheard of in an offense that looks stagnant. So right now, going back to your question, I think it's Jacoby, but I could be wrong. It's trending to Jacoby, but things can change tomorrow and potentially Saturday. We'll have to kind of wait and see. Cardinals are better. What's up? I think Jordan Love is going to piece us up, make us look like a peewee team. Well, if there's one game for the Cardinals to be picked apart, right? If there's one game for the Cardinals to be picked apart, it might be this one. Because also keep in mind, the Cardinals right now, they're holding on to the fact that we are in a lot of these games, right? They're holding to the fact that we're in so many of these games and we're almost there. If you get picked apart and get blown out and you have the bye week and then the trade deadline after our Monday Night Football game, it maybe starts looking at the season a little differently. But the way the Cardinals are looking at it right now is they can tell you guys and they can say, we're close, right? We're close. And yes, the Cardinals did start off 2-4 last year. They went on a 4-game winning streak, 6-4, right? So yes, it can happen. But it starts off with this win. You got to win this game. You have to win this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to win this game. Ian, what's up, brother? I agree. If Kyler isn't 100%, they shouldn't put him out there. I agree. I would rather see 100% Jacoby compared to an 85, even a 90% Kyler. I need Kyler at 100%. He uses his legs. That's what makes him dynamic. If Kyler's not fully healthy 100%, don't put him out there. But you never know, man. I think the fans that are going to come to this game, it's going to be a lot of green and gold in the stands. There's going to be Cardinal fans that show up, the season ticket holders that bought in. They're going to be Cardinal fans there. But there is going to be a lot of green and gold in those stands. And I hope that Michael Bidwell looks out and says to himself, damn, what went wrong? Why aren't these Cardinal fans coming to these games? I hope he really takes a solid look deep down internally. Blames himself because, let's be real, he was one who pieced this together. Monty was the one who put the roster together. There's going to be some real there's going to be a lot of internal, hopefully, reflection. I hate that it happens at the end of the year, but this is a big game. This is a big game. A big game for the Arizona Cardinals. A big game. If we want a chance, spam McBride. Fair. DDR. It's all about the system. Kyler is more talented and would be a top 5-10 in the right system, but Jacoby just fits the system. Yeah. Yeah, agree, man. Agree. And that's the thing, too. When people hear this, especially the Kyler Murray stance, they don't even think to read it or try to understand the message that's behind that, right? When they read this, they say, oh, DDR thinks that Jacoby's better than Kyler. He doesn't know ball. That's what they think. That's where their mind process, because I don't think they have the ability to think outside what people are actually saying. Because when we were saying, damn, Jacoby looks really good, we saw some, I'm not even going to say any derogatory words, but we saw people comparing the stats of a career to Jacoby to Kyler. And people were out there saying, well, I would rather take the winning quarter or the quarterback that has better stats. How dumb are you? Like, to compare the stats with a quarterback that has gotten everything handed to him, that and given the keys to an organization for 7 years, you're shocked that Kyler Murray's got better stats than Jacoby Brissett? No, but people are using that. People are using that as some sort of flex. Oh, Kyler's got better stats, better numbers than Jacoby. Well, no, duh. Jacoby Brissett is a backup quarterback. What we're saying is Jacoby Brissett, with 1 week of preparation, made this offense look as good as it ever has looked in a very, very long time. That's what we're saying. And that it might be time for the Cardinals to now start thinking of the future. Bringing in a quarterback that can work a system that Kyler can't. Now, here's the question. Is Petting going to survive this season? Probably not. Probably not. If this season goes sideways, the first guy I think that is probably going to go is probably going to be Petting. Because you need somebody to blame, right? You need somebody to use as a scapegoat, right? And I'm not saying he's got no fault. He does got fault. He does got fault. Absolutely. Petting's got fault. It's not all his fault, but that's why I'm using the term scapegoat. But of course, Kyler is a better quarterback athletically, ability to do the things that he can do. Jacoby can only do those things in his dreams, right? Not a shock. But who's better in the system? Who can give you an actual realistic chance of putting up points and winning games? Well, that's going to be a question that's going to need to be answered by these guys, right? So going back to the question, who starts week 7? Right now it's trending that it's probably going to be Jacoby. If I were to put some sort of prediction out there on Thursday, when yes, we got tomorrow and we got Saturday. Right now I would say it's Jacoby. But things can change from one day to the next. This is the NFL. So we'll see. Jay, what's up, Jay? Miami. He read that report card. He's why. Maybe did I just jump into something else? I didn't quite get that comment. That's probably on me. What's up, Soul? It's gonna smell like melted cheese this Sunday. They don't know it's hot in Phoenix. That's funny. What's up, Pedro? I think last game showed that Drew doesn't trust Kyler running the offense and is very conservative with his play. It was more open and explosive with Brissett. One thing that we will say is that if that's the way that they are, and here's the thing, right? Sometimes people just need to see it with their own eyes, right? Petzing did say that he did not call anything different, or like he also said that he don't think that the result. Did you guys hear that Petzing came out and said the results would not have looked different if it was Kyler or Jacoby? There was a couple tweaks here and there for the offense, but like he doesn't think that it would be different. That's BS. That's BS. BS. You're not going to sell me a bag of moldy goods and try to convince me that if Kyler was there, he would put that same numbers on the Colts. You couldn't. You wouldn't. Now, here's a big question out there. Is there plays to be made when Kyler Murray's on the field? Well, yes, there is. I've been talking about this from the beginning of the season. Even last year, I was talking about it. There's plays to be made. Did Petzing call a different game plan? It was a more pass heavy compared to run. Yeah, that can very well be. But I've said this before. I don't think they trust him. If Kyler takes the helm back, they need to trust him. And if he's your QB1, they need to trust him. Put your faith in him to sling the rock down the field. And if he throws a lot of interceptions and it looks bad, well, then we know. But again, this organization is doing everything they can to protect Kyler. We saw Jacoby Brissett throw the ball 44 times. Consistently let Kyler Murray do that. At least upper 30s. Let him sling the rock. But I don't think it's all Petzing's fault that Kyler Murray doesn't take a lot of deep shots. I think it is Kyler Murray's maybe mentality and coaching, what he was kind of preached, that it's okay to take the checkdowns. But that was also happening last year as well. The checkdowns were a big, big annoyance for me last year. And it's the same thing. If Kyler becomes the QB1 again, he needs to allow, and I'm not saying allow, but hear me well. I don't think it's all Petzing's fault that Kyler isn't throwing the ball down the field. But if it needs coaching to be assessed, make that coaching and saying, okay, we need to start throwing the ball down the field more. Enough with this BS. It's checkdowns is okay, which it is okay. I'm not going to come out here and checkdowns are okay if that's what the defense gives you, but that can't be your identity. You can throw the ball down the field, and I think the coaching needs to be assessed here. So, for what it's worth, like we were saying earlier, make or break game for 2025 Cardinals. Yes, 100%. 100%. Julio in the chat says Jacoby Brissett QB1. It's trending that way right now. Let me just do a real quick shout out to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Guys that are keeping the lights on. Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Big on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF and you can get up to $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions apply. And on top of that, you can also add another really good promotion on top of that as well. They will give you $20 just like that. If you use my promo code right now, no deposit needed. You want to go ahead and, mess with the app or kind of do something and check it out, they'll give you free $20, no deposit needed if you use my promo code AZSF upon signing up for Sleeper. Make sure you check them out. Proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. Check them out. All right, let's keep this going. Let's read a couple more comments. We'll be closing up shop here pretty soon. Appreciate you for being here, guys. Mikey, what's up, Mikey? Drew Petzing sucks. He's a lame duck OC. He is hot garbage. I don't think he's that bad. And I know that pisses people off that hear me say that. I don't think he's that bad. I think situationally, he's not a good a play caller. I don't think he's that bad. If he gets fired, cool. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I don't think he's that bad. But that's just my opinion, right? Opinions are opinions. Adrian in the chat says the most annoying thing about this offense is when it was second and third and long, we would run the ball 100%. And that's what I've been telling you guys. They don't trust Kyler. So that is a great call out, Adrian. That's where I needed to change, right? Because we're on to you. We're on to you, Petzing. Allow him to throw the ball. If he throws interceptions, then we'll assess then. But enough with this giving up on a drive if you're behind the chains. Enough. We saw Jacoby can do it. Let Kyler do the same thing. Call. Pass instead of run, pass. Put faith in him. I'm not going to say he's going to shock us and put up crazy numbers, but you never know. Freddie in the chat. Mike, are we going to win this game? Your guess is as good as mine, buddy. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I want to win this game. You win this game, you turn your season around. You win this game, you turn your season around. And guess what? We got Monday Night Football versus the Cowboys, which aren't a great team. They can put points up, but they're not a great team. And Kyler, for some reason, always plays really good in Dallas. So Kyler playing good in Dallas, you win this game, guess what? You're on a 2-game winning streak. And now you're back at 500. You're 4-4. So it starts off with this game. That's what you need to do. You need to win this game here. You win it, season can turn around. But it all starts with Week 7 versus the Green Bay Packers. Let's do this. It's that time. We're hitting the hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely appreciate you guys for being here. We'll close up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All the super chatters, Arturo, Roger, everybody who smacked the like button, everybody who subscribed. Hey. Thank you. Everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure.
Let's see if the pressure
I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the
can get on the right side of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's take a look. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll close up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. You guys are all amazing. Check out Sleeper, proud sponsors. More sponsors in the description below. Thank you all. Have a great day. Go Cardinals.
got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just